AT&T, Acer Predator, HyperX, Betway, and Pay Safeguard.
Welcome back, everybody. We're here on the IEM Chicago B stream desk as we have just closed up our second matchup here. It was LDLC versus FaZe. Obviously broke that one down a little bit, Ben. It was an interesting one. Yeah, a very tight affair, which could have gone either way, I guess, if you look at ultimately the scoreline was quite close. LDLC will be disappointed from that, but now we've got NaVi against eUnited, which second seed is 15. NaVi technically been doing quite well the last few tournaments. eUnited, on the other hand, they've had... I was going to say roster turmoil, but I think it's more transfer turmoil. Well, some brotherly turmoil. I suppose so, yeah. But ultimately, they've brought in FNS as well. An NA team who got to this in quite a weird way as well. They beat Cloud9 to get here, and that was with Cloud9, with their old roster, obviously, with Skadoodle still playing fully with them as well. They won 3-2, I think, in best of 5, which, I mean, fair enough, Cloud9, they're an established team still. Yeah. They're not still as bad as people might think, obviously. Recency bias makes you think they're not very good anymore, but they still are quite good. eUnited get the spot. Cloud9 originally must have thought they were going to the event because then ESL announced that South America would have a slot, and that took away the NA slot. So Cloud9 not here. And eUnited, I was going to say the sole representation of NA, but ultimately they're the ones who qualified. NRG were invited due to being champions of Shanghai. eUnited, they got me thinking we have to do very well in this matchup to have a chance, because Simple and Electronic, the last 3 months, have been unreal. Yeah, that is true. Across the board, it has just been domination. Obviously, the trifecta we've seen in Pro League has been Simple, Electronic, and Flamey popping off, consistently just being able to close out games. And that's the scary factor, is no matter what you do as a team, you walk into this essentially just a cage match versus those 3 boys. And they don't mess around, Ben. And the odds will reflect that as well, massively in favour of NaVi there. But obviously, LDLC, they've had one thrashing. They fancied another. Apparently so, yeah. So eUnited... expected odds, really. Like, you know, you've got to be thinking second seed was 15, you're going to be thinking instantly it favours the second seed by a lot. And if you think about maps as well, it does favour NaVi quite a bit. United don't have very good win percentages on the maps they play. And we are going to dive into it as well. So we're already in the pistol round. NaVi get the CT side. So we are into the action here. United going to be on that T side, making a play in towards the B-bomb site to open it up. Dazzle finds the first, but Edward is there to try and counter. However, he won't be able to. He has been destroyed by a moose that has spearheaded him on the horns, Ben. Things start to return now a little bit more in the NaVi fashion. They're dealing out blows, but can they actually find these frags? Relics from behind the forest angle will find that headshot, and it just falls on that duo you spoke about, Simple and Electronic. Electronic doing a big bulk of work here as he finds the majority of frags. Simple struggling to actually get those shots off. Just left on 10 HP. Electronic will try and close it down. All on his lonesome. Sidelined by Daper. And it is left really in an awkward spot for Simple. Just going to have to save this one, really. With 1 HP and an armor. He needs to get quite far away because Dapper is chasing him straight there. Dapper, he does get the kill finally, and he does live through the bomb explosion too. So United take that pistol with a nice execute onto B site. Very well drilled, they know exactly what they want to do when they get in there. And they do survive the post plant, even though it was a 2v2. Quite a tough one as well. They get the pistol and hopefully they can build from that. So United getting the opening round. It's a good start, but how long are they going to have that consistency? The pistol round is one that can be in flux quite a lot. It'll be these rounds afterwards. Once NaVi have their economy stabilised a little bit more, they're going to do anything special into this round on the CT side. I'm intrigued about these P250 purchases from Zeus and Simple. I understand Simple's been doing it quite often. That was also a missed window smoke by United there. We saw Dazzle, I believe. Oh no, actually it was Dapper lining up. It's the crouch moving forward jump throw. And I've done it a few times in my time, and I missed it loads as well. And that's not a good start, though. Second round, you've won the pistol. And it means that if you're missing that now, you're probably going to be missing it later on. And it makes you go into a weird position now, because imagine if there was a player in window with a deagle just then. Yeah. They get the kill for free because they thought the window smoke was there. Electronic with that USP in his hand, trying to be the silent assassin towards the B site, but he himself will be executed. Relics will find that frag. Backstab from Dazzle as well. They'll hit him with a glitz and glam, Ben. And it is all up to Daddy Simple. He's gone. Yeah, just the one kill, so he pays for that P250 he did buy.
NaVi comes straight back in with this buy round though. So can eUnited do anything from this? So they do have that money advantage in terms of utility. You can see a clear discrepancy. Whereas NaVi, they actually get the AWP out. Flamey buys it himself, so he's got a glass cannon for that. It's a very risky purchase. The question is, what can he do with it? He's going towards window. Perhaps Electronic can push up with him covering him in the window, but it looks like a B player is the call by eUnited.
Oh, Dazzle getting very aggressive early on. That nade should transfer a bit of damage over. Not too much, really. But he's in a prime position. He's ahead of the smoke. If they don't realize this, he can open it up and cause chaos on the scene there with a MAC-10. The Biggie Small Plays comes out, Ben, and he has always been a terror since the public school era. He is just cutting them down towards B, and that's a save call made. NaVi, they've got to just concede that one. Dazzle does it all on his own. Just incredible stuff there, really. Pushes ahead of the smoke, sits there, waits for the timing, and explodes.
That just shows that he knew exactly what his role was in that strategy. Yeah. Right, he goes straight through all the way across. You know short is covered by smokes. So you know you don't even need to look that way. Gets both those kills. And that's a really nice play from eUnited. Straight out of the first buy round. They catch NaVi off guard. Zeus, he was trying to use his grenades as if this was a regular default. But eUnited, they come straight at him with actual execute. And when you think about who's playing that B site, I've mentioned this in Pro League. Surely you've got to be thinking, Edward and Zeus on a site alone is much weaker than the A site comparison.
Yeah.
Like, surely.
That's the thing, right? If you think about it like WWE, that is the weakened knee. And eUnited, if they realise there is a weakened knee...
I suppose it's two weakened knees, isn't it? It's five, you've got it into 5 different things. There's 2 weak knees right there.
You could just hit that knee. Just take that knee. Get them on the ground.
Yeah. So eUnited, they start off strong. 3-0 already. NaVi did save the 3 weapons, though, which is why you can see they do actually invest back into this somewhat. Not fully, though. And eUnited, they're going straight in. This is such a strat-heavy start from eUnited as well. They're going straight towards the playbook. And I do like to see, if you've got a big enough playbook, this is fantastic, right? You can catch them off guard, keep using them, and you can keep returning. And that didn't even get the kill.
That's so rough. And that actually nearly looked like it was going to develop into a double kill as well. So for it to go down that way, it means that Simple needs to salvage it, peeks out with the spray down, be able to pick up 2 frags already. Hungry for more as he wants to...
Oh my word, this retake. I thought they were sending 4 CT.
Try and smother them, Ben. But he is allowed to stay alive for the meantime. Moose is going to be coming around. What can this happy camper get up to as he will start to encroach upon their control? Edward is waiting in position. Simple gets eliminated. Edward should surely fall as well. Nearly the follow-up frag, but look how much damage is now coming out of the side of eUnited, Ben. It's a one-on-one. Relics versus Electronic. The angle was covered. He has so much more health to play with here. Relics jump spotting it, his head is detected, but Electronic can't connect the shot. Gives him more than enough lifelines. Relics goes for the bold play, just wanted to try and get himself in position to connect the one tap, but Electronic will eventually close that round down. But only one man surviving at the end of it.
I suppose if you're United, you get tagged by Norper and CT, the smoke's up, there's nobody on the site, you do think it's a retake. So Simple getting those 2 kills actually threw them straight away. They was like, wait, what? And it confused them enough that they stopped planting even. Instead of just having one player flick and look at it, they stopped the plant, they then lost control of the site completely. Imagine how different that would have been if they'd forced the retake by NaVi. Considering they did get it down to the 1 man left. Very costly for NaVi, even though they won it. And Dapper, ooh.
It's going to tip his hat, Ben. Quite a dapper man as he walks his way out towards the site. FNS as well. Surely should have found that kill, but Electronic was having none of it. Hits him with a fly swatter. Will knock him back. And it is all on Zeus and Simple. And this should most likely be a NaVi save round, really.
Most definitely, especially with that AWP in the hands of Simple. You could always see that Moose, he's somewhat hunting. He's walking it. He does aim to catch some of these NaVi players off guard, and he will do a Zeus there. It's a free kill. But the question is, where is Simple for them? Because they should know there's probably an AWP still in play. So one of the things we've always talked about in Pro League was about how good Electronic is when he has an AK in his hand. You can see it right there when he just had it for, a millisecond peak, really. But, we move on to CT side, he has an M4. He really isn't as good as he is on T. It's quite crazy to see that much of a difference.
Yeah, it is weird. He is one of those players that is so much more lucrative when he has the AK in his hands. You see that, those sort of tempo players that really only perform certain ways. Electronic Still having a good game, though. The sole dominator right now for NaVi with 6 frags to 3. Simple, close second there with 4 kills to his name. And Simple will be the only player really with a weapon going into this next round as well.
They should force, to be fair. You see Edward's already bought. And the money on Flamey and Zeus is so low that even if you eco this round, they can't buy next. So your best bet is to actually try and force into this one. Electronic will be able to get a real gun in. An M4 most likely. Unless they go double AWP, of course. That is a possibility. But the pause, I imagine it was tech, though. I could hear the in-game noise of the... whenever somebody sends a message. But ultimately, it should be a force buy from NaVi. I'm wondering if eUnited would be ready for it, though, because they should know at least a gun has been saved. I'm not too sure if they'll know it's an AWP, though, because I don't think a Simple actually shot through that whole round.
Well, still in this pause currently. eUnited, they are leading. You can't imagine that'll be for long, really. However, in terms of the rounds you've actually seen, there's been some impressive players coming out. Dazzle towards that B site. Very nice execute with him solely focusing on the angles he needed to. Cleans it up and locks it down. Found those first 2 frags and forced NaVi into a save. Moose as well. A couple of nice taps coming out from the AK.
Yeah, the question is, will they be able to keep it up, right? So this round would be quite big, purely because NaVi are looking to force into it, right? So you win this one, it goes 5-1. NaVi then after eco should be 6-1. And from there, you've already beat yourself a good set of rounds, right? You should have a lot of money as well. Pause will end. But the question is, will NaVi buy, though? You see Edward's already bought. So he already had a plan in mind. However, Zeus and Flamey are yet to do it.
We are back in action now. electronic with 6K as well, debating what he is actually going to do. So it'll actually be a double AWP setup. Both of them going to be wielding the big green guns into this round, Ben.
Electronic keeping it himself is interesting, though, because I wouldn't say he's an AWPer. I thought he was one of those riflers through and through. But he's picked it up. He's the only player towards this A site. So long as eUnited smoke off jungle, they should be able to single out the CT player. Because Simple is on short with his AWP currently. Smoke's going to be coming in. Smoke towards CT will be landing as well. Although it's come short here. I don't think that's meant to happen.
That's fallen very early. That's not fantastic. I mean, it leaves lines of sight like this, but electronic barely staying alive there as the nades roll in. Another smoke will go out as well to eventually block it off, but there is a bit of leeway. electronic, if he's feeling himself, he could try and go for this, but he's just backing off, really.
Yeah, it's got to be a save, but how lucky is he to live there, though? Because those nades were very close. And with how many nades they sent towards the area, if it was like 4 nades going in, the third one should probably kill him. The fourth one would send the AWP flying as well. That's the other scary bit if that was to happen. But he does survive, he takes that straight out the side. He actually goes all the way to the opposite side. Now on B. And eUnited, they're happy to just keep all 5 players alive. It's not worth them trying to hunt this. So that's 5-1. They keep the 2 AWPs in. And it's not really worth investing anymore, I don't think, for NaVi. But I've seen crazier things.
Oh. So NaVi going to be going for a tactical timeout at this point. It's warranted. They do need to try and have a look at things, Ben, because their scoreline is actually starting to inflate quite far out of control. I mean, we've seen NaVi actually suffer in best of ones as well. We've seen that in Pro League where they drop maps against teams that you feel like they should be able to beat, really, systematically just rip to pieces in every aspect of Counter-Strike. But can eUnited try and have a little bit of an upset?
It's quite amusing. You mentioned the Pro League stuff. NaVi normally would not use a pause in Pro League.
No, they wouldn't. They just keep on going.
They just carried on fighting through thinking, we'll win this in the end. It'll be fine. And we've seen them fall to defeats. You mentioned like AGO, for example, on Drain. That should not have happened. And you're wondering this might happen again. Just as a breakdown as well, eUnited have played this map 27 times as a roster. They've got a win rate of less than 50%. NaVi have won it 78% with the 9 games they've played. I don't know how you're challenging in a team like NaVi on a map where you're not even getting 50% wins.
Yeah.
It's kind of crazy.
Well, electronic this time with his AWP will be able to find a pick. So United are down a man at the very least as they push their way through. But Flamey, the hero plays of NaVi are starting to come out, Ben. They've had enough.
Pure aggression as well. It was, you're probably thinking that that should kill Flamey in that instance. But it just doesn't come through. 3v5 though. See Edward, he was tempting it a bit. He was thinking about going for the push, but he's actually going to drop down ultimately. eUnited, they need to find some kills across somewhere because, as I mentioned, it's a 3v5 NaVi have got 3 guns now. The question is, will they be able to do anything? Looks like A site is the target, but I think electronic is watching towards connector with his AWP as well. Just a matter of time, though. Zeus making the information play. The question is, will it be in time with FNS's push here? He checks the corner. He might be caught off based on the timing.
Fires the deagle shot, but it instantly turns into the spam. Can't control it, so FNS able to detect 2 players and fall back. But Moose, with the timing on the rotation, will only be able to find those initial 2 frags before he's eliminated. Luckily enough, he's got the backup of Relics, who begins to do work, Ben. And work he will do. Absolute bits done as he just fires off. Huge play from Relics there. And that is not the sort of man you want to allow to get confidence frags as well. He thrives on the stuff.
That's such a bizarre thing. I think the round has purely been one off Moose there.
Yeah.
In fact, he got that. It was a spray towards CT.
It was a lucky adjustment.
It was a spray. And the fact he got a second kill and the trade took so long. I mean, there was room for Relics to make a move. And he delivered, right? He got 3 kills. Done so well there. And he was one of those early players, like a young player as well. I think it was Selfless, I think.
When he was discovered by Ryu.
Yeah. The AX comes in, Flamey playing at triple. Electronic's about to push through as well. Gets the 1 and pulls back. Actually, he's doing take 2.
Oh, he wants some more, Ben. He is not full just yet. However, after taking a lot of damage, he will just decide to call it quits. And Electronic now taken down. Flamey as well suffers the same fate. Very low, so Dazzle, easy pickings there. But Zeus, with the correct timing, finds the refrag. But Dazzle will trade it. You're left in just a 2 versus 3 now. And Moose, he's been actually quite accurate with this AK. Some deadly frags have been being picked up, but it's not him we need to worry about, apparently. It's Dazzle, who is stealing the entire show. Edward forced to save this one. eUnited, 7 frags picked up, Ben. This is very reminiscent of what we saw when they did play versus Ago. NaVi, the only difference is, as you said, they've actually used the pause for once. Last time there, NaVi, they appeared to be quite headstrong and, defeated themselves over the fact they thought we should be winning this. We don't need to pause. And that's a mindset you don't want to have. NaVi, they need adaptation. They need it soon because you're being manhandled by a roster full of young guns that are just popping heads off.
And this is a roster that there's been rumors of another transfer coming in. So you're thinking this one of these players will be removed. And that makes it even weirder. If they were to beat NaVi here, what happens to that transfer? Do you keep the same roster there? It makes a lot of things...
Does Freakazoid get a family reunion? What?
There's a lot of things to be asked, isn't there?
Where does it go?
But eUnited, they're in such a good position right now. 7-1. Edward does save that gun into the next round. He'll be doing the smoke towards deep B-apps, but it looks like it's a heavy mid-take from eUnited. Fast towards connector, in fact. But they're running into multiple players here.
Oh, FNS with a flick around, shuts down Electronic fantastically. Flamey with a deagle. Gonna try and punish, but only 1 capitalization from that 50 cal pistol. Edward starts to rotate back around. The smoke will block him. Small amount of damage done from the Molotov as well. But these are all very isolated incidents, Ben. And he nearly dies as well. And it won't matter. The Molotov will spread. It will kill him. Zeus has died. eUnited just winning these rounds.
It's so peculiar. This is unusual there. I saw a stat about how Simple had been like the top rating at every tournament NaVi gone to in 2018 other than 2. And they'd finished top 3 in all of those. And that's a crazy stat in itself. Think about how many events they've gone to. And right now Simple's not doing particularly well. He hasn't had a chance to, if I'm honest. And this is concerning for NaVi, especially. This is the first game of the tournament for them.
This is your opening game as well. This is your high seed game versus low seed team. This is the best of one you win. But not today, apparently, Ben. Once again, I'm going to try and direct their firepower towards mid and the A site. Relic's just allowed to sit in the open and find these kills. Electronic needs to do something and needs to do it now. Everyone else has been annihilated on his team and he can't find the frag. Dapper, another tip of the hat as he will punish Electronic. FNS just 1 bombs Edward. And it's a 9-1 scoreline. NaVi, they should probably be smelling that lower bracket by now, Ben. And that needs to wake them up. That's got to get them back in the game. They need to adjust.
The scary bit is, if they were to lose this best of 1, they drop into the lower bracket. Fine, that does happen. They would face the loser of Big or Fnatic.
Yeah.
And that's not exactly an easy game either. That's a best of 3. If you're against Big, best of 3 against Big is tough. They've got a very good map pool. Fnatic, again, you can't doubt JW and Crims.
I mean, the benefit you have potentially is it's the first LAN with Brolin and Twist.
Yeah,
so
that's true.
You know, it still looked like they were trying to work out certain positions in Pro League. So
Yeah, that's true.
you know, the transition could still be there. But if you face off versus Big, that's a well-drilled team, and they love an upset.
Could be very tough. NaVi, I'm surprised they haven't used another pause really as well, because it certainly feels like they need one. Because the tempo, eUnited, they're winning. As soon as they get the first kill, they win the round within about 25 seconds.
It's the knock-on effect. It's bap, bap, bap. The whole round just crumbles as soon as they find that one support beam. It's weird that it's been coming down to electronic as sort of the last man as well.
Especially when he's usually the player who instigates the round.
Yeah.
It looks like a B split might be the call from eUnited though. And due to NaVi not having many weapons, they're trying to gamble on one of the sides, which is why they've got 3 players towards B. Simple will be jump spotting towards B though.
This is the kind of round where if Edward and Zeus don't do some damage to those UMPs, you'll see a Reddit thread about it.
Or at least just singling out the fact that Simple does not have the weapon.
Yeah.
Simple does spot one of the players. They do Molotov the balconies also Zeus. He has to sit in it for quite a while. He's actually peaked while pulling off.
The double Molotov as well, so he takes damage even on the exit, Ben. He has nearly been burnt alive, but luckily you have the superstar, Simple. Oh, we needed some rounds. We needed to see him waking up a bit. 2 incredible frags into this one at the very least. Has been able to save them for the meantime. FNS towards mid. Will finesse on one man. Eliminates the electronic, but Flamey shows what he can do with his pistol. Scavenges the AK, and NaVi walk away with the round.
Yeah, possibly got a bit flustered on the push into the B site there. So the first Molotov goes down, fine. And then they threw the second one. It means you cannot go off the balcony yourself, which means you have to go through the window. But instead of just waiting for the Molotov to go, you don't need to rush the situation at all.
No.
They could have just waited a bit more. Instead, they crowded around that single window peak for Simple. He gets 2 kills. The push falls apart. And that's NaVi's first round of the board in a long time.
Maybe this is what they needed. The smelling salts might wake them up again and return them to the game. Simple. AWP in his hands towards mid. Big tag, but no real frag. Goes for the wall bang as well on the way out, just as a fade away to teach them a lesson. Unfortunately, the nade won't be able to blow him out the server either. It is left in the 5 versus 5, and mid control is coming through. The only player that isn't towards mid is Moose, who's going to be going for that late round ramp take. And they're focusing all these units towards close connector here. A lot of utility being used by NaVi as well early on.
Yeah, they're trying to flood out the connector so that Edward could take advantage of the players who are just outside it. However, due to eUnited not actually being anywhere near connector, Edward's got limited time where he can stay up here, I think. Because if he stays on for longer, he risks being shot from so many different angles. Especially if they peek from underpass, for example, there's a little angle, it's a headshot angle. It's always going to favour the AK. Question is, will Dazzle actually peek towards this way? The window's about to be smoked. They are moving to peek this side. Relics looks like he's ready, and Dazzle peeked it, but he should have got the kill.
Oh yeah, that is unfortunate. Edward living on borrowed time at the moment. No way he should have been able to find that frag, as he will start to fall back and defend towards the bomb site. The remaining 4 players from eUnited will start to make their move in. I mean, they've got an element of surprise here, but Simple is running back over. He has the AWP, peeks out, finds the frag on FNS, and that is the instigation. That's him kicking it off, and the catalyst as he just destroys those first 2 players. eUnited now left in such a horrible predicament, Ben. One by one, they start to fall. Dapper misses the shot with the AWP as well on close range, and no casualties for NaVi. 5 players staying alive, and another round given to them. 9-3 now, with eUnited leading.
Yeah, you got to feel like Moose should have done better. He had that full spray towards CT. We mentioned how his kills were Simple earlier on in the half. Wasn't a tap, it was a spray from Palace. He's done this exact the same thing, right? The same thing again, where he's gone straight for the spray for no reason. If he tapped, he kills him instantly. But instead, he doesn't get the kill, the round falls apart. eUnited go for their first tactical timeout, which, it sounds about right. It's, you know, you've lost 2 rounds in a row. Compared to how it was going, it's quite bad. Relative to that, obviously. eUnited, they still have a bye, but the question is, what do they want to do from it? Because this default they're doing doesn't seem to work.
eUnited. They had to take some kind of tactical timeout here, though. Needed to speak about things. You might as well. I mean, you're leading right now. You can try and get an even better scoreline at the half. And this is huge as well. It's still a ridiculous scoreline if you think about it. eUnited leading 9-3 over NaVi is not something you'd expect going into this matchup as a best of 1. And this is live on LAN as well. That's the difference maker. This isn't online. This is NaVi really sort of in their home environment when it comes down to it.
Like I see NaVi, they're going for the boost in the window actually straight towards the short. So Simple can get the peak across if he wants to, but he decides to go for a bit more of a passive hold here. Relix, on the other hand, does have his AWP towards B. The nade, smoke, and flashbang all thrown by Zeus. He's used every single grenade he has.
He's just thrown all his nades one after another.
Yeah, it does go for the spam, although Relix nearly peeked into the spam. Very unusual. I think that's the closest I've ever seen two players on the map just then, Simple and Dazzle. Simple did get the kills towards Dapper, towards mid as well. So that is the knowledge that Simple was towards short with it. However, the question is, can eUnited recover from the already deficit they created in this round?
Yeah, you've lost Dapper early on. Still a minute on the clock as well, so there's a lot of time. You're not out of it yet. So they will make their way over. They could try and go for a boost play here, potentially towards mid. FNS clearing, close on the window. The peak's going to come around. Relix does actually save his team there as he gets that instant kill with the AWP. Now it's a 4-on-4. If they can get another pick, this round could be achievable, but the Molotov from Flamey is absolutely spectacular. Everyone will be heating up, Ben, as they have to pop their collars and pop heads as well. Flamey and Electronic both done in seconds, and it is all on Zeus and Simple, but this round will not be simple.
Yeah, Simple, he's kind of stuck in CT. He needs Zeus to be able to get in this round, but Moose, he's already checking for it. Unfortunately, goes he 1AK Zeus through the corner of the wall, but he can't even get the kill. 1 HP, he has to save. But that was so bizarre.
Relix can find this. Relix should be on his pistol right now in reality. I mean, he should have realized he tagged him. Peak comes around, Ben faces him, eliminates Relix.
I suppose
he might not have known.
Yeah, Moose, he did hit him through the corner of the wall, but Simple fell in CT, so thankfully Zeus gets that kill because that's the AWP recovered, technically.
He needed to save that, especially with Simple going down. It makes it a whole lot more impactful of a save. That's unfortunate.
Money, at least, NaVi, they do have good money. Those rounds they won were quite clean relative to what we've seen from eUnited. But this round is massive, because this is the difference between potentially a 10-5 and a 12-3. So the AWP being passed around quite a bit, and I think that's the tactical pulls on NaVi's side, I want to say. Because I feel like they need to talk about something, because this buy is a bit weird. Because Zeus, he's got 8,000. So he can go for an AWP drop to Simple and get himself an M4 with 2 grenades, I believe. But the question is it even, like, do they want the second AWP Simple, or do we want him rifling? Unless there already is a gun on the floor, perhaps. Debating it, though. They're leaving quite late here, because Zeus he's got 8,000, so surely you just make one decision or the other, right?
You need to do something. If you're going to go for it, invest.
So there's an M4. He hasn't bought any grenades yet, though. So he will buy grenades. So I assume there's probably an M4 on the floor for Zeus, or actually it was an AWP. So they did buy an AWP across. It was just on the ground. So 2 AWPs, 1 on Flamey. And that's not a good start, though. If you're NaVi, you need to be coming into the round with or some kind of advantage, right?
Yeah, that's rough. I mean, Relix is low at least. He's left on 15 HP, but it doesn't really matter because he stayed alive. He can fall back, play from a different position now. You don't know where that low player is anymore. You've lost that advantage. Even
last round, Relix was that low as well, and he saved the team from the peek out window. The A smokes will come in. That's so loud from Edward, though. They should know he's run through window. There's a player coming off short as well. Should be easy backstabs.
Zeus. I mean, it looked like he went for it, but didn't fully commit to the play, really. Luckily, Dazzle will go down, but in the time it's taken Simple to actually reface because of the time it took to recock that AWP. The frags have been found. Dapper, quite an unorthodox angle as well, one that would probably catch you off from that position, finds the kill. Simple spotted his gun barrel, but getting an angle here is so hard. He physically just has to wait until Dapper gives him an opportunity, Ben.
You see Simple faking the jump just then, but it's just so far away. You're on a loud environment, you can't hear it that far away. They know he's towards connector now. Backup is arriving in the form of Relix. The Molotov will come through. Relix pulls away just because of how low he is. But Dapper's managed to get close, and he should be able to find this kill unless Simple gets it.
They flashbang him out. Oh, he's going to go for the knife! Dapper!
Why would you do that, though?
You cheeky gamer.
I don't know why you'd do that, though.
I don't know. I mean, if you got the AWP off him, it's worth so much more.
You're allowing him to keep an AWP. That's so dumb.
It was cheeky and very stupid.
That's so dumb.
You literally could have got the AWP off of NaVi.
I hope Simple gives him kills back here. I really do. Because I'd like to see him be punished for that decision, because that was so dumb.
You've not won the game yet.
You should not be doing that.
I mean, it might be 11-3, but you've not won.
Like, you shouldn't be doing it. Simple as. It's like when Config went for that knife kill in double overtime, whatever it was. People like still saying, this is stupid. He got the kill, but it's so stupid. You shouldn't be doing that.
The only opportunity
it's not worth it.
you see it where it's like, that's acceptable.
A backstab is the only time.
If you could catch them off guard with it, or it physically makes sense to kill someone to insta-pick up the gun, then go for it.
That's so stupid.
That's weird.
They go for the double AWP though. Zeus with one, which is unusual. Simple with the other. The B fake coming through. Dazzle the only player out. And Zeus was actually caught so off guard by the peak. And the fact he's still alive is unreal here.
Oh, Dazzle on 1 HP. Dapper left on 44.
Oh,
Simple.
What?
Peaks out, but it doesn't matter. The 1 HP is all Dazzle needs. That could be some frustration building there as well, Ben. Plays like this coming through Dazzle.
He's 1 HP.
Just making a mockery out of them. Giving them a bit of how's your father with 1 HP. He's annihilated all of them, and it is only Electronic that remains in a 1-on-4. You can't do anything. You're forced to just save this. You've got to scurry away, hold on to the Famous. That's going to be quite a one-sided half.
As well. He has to do something, but it's such a big ask though, isn't it? He's so low.
Yeah.
12-3, and you got to be thinking the AWPs didn't really do much. They were both towards the same site as well, which I'm not too sure about. But that's so weird though. At 12-3, NaVi on a map that they've won 7 of the 9 games they played on it. eUnited have got a negative win rate on this map.
Negative knife rate as well.
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't matter though. Dazzle's still giving it, apparently.
Yeah, apparently.
The frags he found at this round were just 1 HP.
Why is he playing for
lunacy.
stats in this round?
I'm not too sure. You're not...
What?
Well, FNS said no to that one, and that is going to be a 12-3 half in favour of eUnited. More to come after the break. We're back in now with NaVi versus eUnited here. It's a 12-3 half, and it has been monstrous from some of the players here on eUnited. NaVi, Ben, faltering at every turn. Some cheeky knife plays coming out as well. It's been quite a spicy one.
Yeah, it looks like NaVi is starting off straight away, going towards that B site. Simple's been given a P250 again. See it a lot of the time online in Pro League. And he has already shot 1 bullet as well, potentially giving away the idea. It is only FNS currently there, though. Backup will arrive in the form of Moose.
Oh, here comes the push out. Dapper goes for the face, fires off a few warning shots, but does nothing. All of the damage is coming out from Flamey, Edward, and Simple as the triple threat starts to clothesline the opposition. Dazzle comes back around, peeks in towards the shop. Flamey there holding the angle, will extend out. And that is a relatively rapid round. Quite a clean one as well. Near the team ace, but Simple was hungry for 2.
Yes, the question is, will eUnited start to panic if the scoreline starts to close? Because obviously they're not as experienced as this NaVi side. Especially in a situation like this, where they're the ones in the lead at this sort of scoreline too. So you got to be assuming, I was going to say NaVi take this round, but eUnited are buying in really weirdly. So you've got 3 players who bought armor. So to me that says they're going to be buying 4th round rather than 3rd. But if you do that, you risk NaVi now building such a good bank on their side as well. So it's quite a big risk, I think. Very early on too, a risk they probably don't need to take. So the question is, what kind of info can they get? Zeus took the fight towards being got solo, Simple takes down Relics. That's not one of the players with armor, but it's a kill nonetheless.
Minute and 20 on the clock here. Smoke's being used once again towards mid. Dapper holds the position, waits for the push to come through, but Flamey finds the flick. It's only Zeus and Flamey that have currently taken damage into this round, and Dazzle, he's been quite effective, looks to try and do some more, but can't hit him with a Texas 2-step. Instead it will be the frag for Electronic, and things should surely start to fall apart. Moose, being the only man remaining, will gallop away and try and keep himself alive here.
Yeah, so some damage was dealt at the least, but not actually damage that will factor into the next round. Just some HP damage, nothing else. So ultimately those Kevlar buys do nothing, really, I guess. I don't know why you'd buy a Deagle with Kevlar, though, either. Because most of the time you can do the same sort of job with just Deagle on its own, right? You can just go for the peaks. Like, shoulder peeking with that gun is so good. You shouldn't need the aim punch to be recovered for you. But Moose last life, he has this armor which he wants to keep. But they gave Simple the Mark 10, actually, to try and hunt with it. And it looks like he'll be coming towards B in these last 6 seconds, I believe it is. Although Edward does see the spot. Simple trying to chase it, but I don't think he'll have time. Very close, though. Very close. Simple stays alive, or Moose, rather, stays alive with his armor. And some nades being bought. Let's see. So that confirms what I thought. It'd be 4th round buy. You risk NaVi getting a lot of bank, though, is the issue. And I wouldn't mind if you did this on T side, because you know you can break that CT economy really quickly. However, on the CT side, you can't break the T side economy that easily. So 4 players in window, all with HEs, the throw them towards the top. Collectively do 33 damage, or 27 damage rather. It's ultimately not very successful.
No, not at all. Majority of frags going in favour of NaVi here, apart from the last second, where Moose will actually start to make a play, Ben. I mean, he's found 2 huge impact frags. He's supported by Dazzle. He has armor. Dazzle can rotate around and scavenges for a weapon, but nothing's there.
I mean, there should have been. Simple should have had an AK in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is very unusual. There should be guns. Well, there should definitely be a gun in connector. But I guess he didn't look properly. A bit too adamant that might be B.
It probably would have been blown to one of the corners, I can only imagine.
Surely.
Yeah, look, it's on his body. It's blown in the corner. That's why.
I mean, I guess that's
his gloves have blended in.
Next level death decision right there. Simply turned slightly to the right when he died, so he fell on the gun.
Yeah.
It's classic, really simple. Just that good. But it is a 2v2. It's not exactly won yet by NaVi. But the thing I was mentioning about the economy, how NaVi would be able to build quite a bit. This is now being challenged. Moose is on his way towards this site. They don't have a kit, but they know they can do quite a lot of damage still. Question is, what can they get done, though?
Dazzle. If he would have had that AK, he would have been better armed. This time he finds it.
He does have a smoke, actually, as well. So that could allow a 10-second defuse. If you're Dazzle, you might as well smoke them on and just try and get on it.
And that looks to be the call. We'll toss out that smoke. Shrouds the bomb.
Both in Palace.
Both of them playing from Palace could be very awkward. Electronic sticking his head out. Instantly eliminates one man, but there's a trade from Moose. He shouldn't expect the second player in Palace. There'll be no time. Edward will peek out. He will get himself the 4K, but the round will go in favor of NaVi. However, that was a very costly one. So at least they're trying to keep that cash in check.
And that's a really good confidence round from Moose as well. 4 kills. Yeah. He kept that armor the previous round, and he actually made use of it. It's very rare we see that actually happen. So you can see the money on NaVi. Even though they survived with 5 alive in the second round, they lose everyone the third, which means the rebuys come through. And eUnited get a pretty solid buy. Relics probably should have a better one, really, considering you've ecoed 3 rounds, or 2 rather. So what can they do with this extended buy that they've gone for? Let's find out. The Relic's back on the AWP. In the short time he had it, he was pretty successful, and that's even better. He got a tag across, or got the kill on Edward. Simple taking a tag towards B. It's a good start for this round.
5 versus 4 here. The T's already down a man. Grouped up towards top mid. Everyone there, apart from Electronic, who hides in position. Over by underpass. Now, in terms of utility, a lot of it has been casted out already by eUnited. They've used all of the smokes. They have 3 flashbangs remaining, 2 HEs and 1 Molotov, Ben.
Yeah, NaVi leave themselves with just the 1 smoke and simple, which isn't the worst thing on the T side. However, Dazzle is making quite a good play in the mid window, so if they were trying to boost, he should be able to isolate the player doing so. But instead, they're moving up connector. Dapper is watching this, but that final smoke comes through. I'm wondering, Electronic, he got simple behind it.
That's crazy. Dazzle being able to pick up that frag is absolutely massive. Nice use of the nade as well. Would have actually been able to find a second. Starting to raise hell right now, but the backstab coming around. Electronic gets the first kill. The adjustment onto the second. However, Moose, the man of the moment from the prior round, will be able to decapitate Flamey, and it falls into a 2 versus 1. Electronic is a 1-man army. Is he going to feel outnumbered walking into this? He might actually just walk straight into the crosshairs of Moose, though. Goes back into him. The Canadian All-Star will start to deal damage, Ben, and have a large round coming out from him.
And look at NaVi's money. It's just not quite there. The pause comes through, kind of expected. But the fact that you've still got 2 timeouts is kind of unreal when you think about how that first half went.
Yeah.
Because that means they just used a single pause, and that's just kind of bizarre, really. So Dazzle having a really good game, though. In terms of actual impact frags as well, he seems to be getting a lot in 2s, or sometimes into 3s. They keep the AWP for Relics. However, they're not quite out of the water yet. eUnited, their money's still not great. NaVi are force buying into this round. They've given Simple an AK. He should be able to get armor with that as well. So it's a very dry actual buy from NaVi. Not much utility available to them. 3 smokes. 4 flashbangs. Simple actually goes for Kevlar instead of head armor with it, just so he can get another smoke in. So that's... I wonder if that'll factor into this next round. Edward putting that smoke in, but Relic was actually there to peek it, and he gets the kill. That's a really good frag to find, especially when the execute's coming through and the Molotov's going to delay them. There's no smoke to put it out.
Oh, this is rough. You can see NaVi running around just looking confused here, Ben. The comms must have broken down. The entire round has been cast away, and they have to try and reposition and find a backup plan to this. There's 1 minute and 20 seconds on the clock here as they start to expand out, gain that map control towards mid. 2 players here close underneath window. Simple could go for a boost up. It looks like that could be what they're instructing, and he will try and go for the play. The man that would be close to deal with that is Dazzle. Dazzle, he's been having a good game. Definitely ripping some heads off, but can he give out some more death-defying blows? No. Electronic will smack him down. This opens up the play potential as well for Simple to now work his way back through, and this develops the site take towards the A site. Moose is in position with support of Dapper. Can they actually lock this down?
Yeah, they need to work very well as a pair here. Make sure they're covering each other's angles. Moose covering this cross. Does a lot of damage, gets the kill, in fact, as well. He even takes more fights.
He's just allowed to explode against them, Ben. Simple's in the close range angle, jumps up over the box, finds the frag, but there's the response from Dapper as he is just beating them down. Electronic sprints back over once again, the last remaining man, and he is just slapped out of the server by Relics. That'll be a 14-6 scoreline now. They're getting closer and closer to that victory, and they're now in a position where match point is very much achievable.
And you look at the kill scores on NaVi. Electronic 19, Simple 17, Flamey 9, and then the other 2 on 6. This feels like the classic situation where somebody would screenshot and say, when the other 2 are not performing, just because that's what happens. Like, you have a game where 2 players are trying so hard to get into the game, but they just can't. eUnited making all the correct decisions, at least, as well. And NaVi, they're back to the force by tandem that they love to go for. Moose. Oh, we didn't check it fully.
Oh, that could have been a different story. If Moose would have gone for the play there, potentially towards top mid, would have got a huge read. Instead, still quite exposed right now until he gets around the angle on short.
He's trying to cover underpass.
Oh, he should get a spray down, but it depends on the timing. The face will come around from Edward, but the Deagle struggles to give him the accuracy. He will get the first frag off at least. Flamey has been washed away. And it falls back onto Dazzle, really, if they go for this push through the connector. He's been looking sublime. But would they give him that opportunity to cook up something tasty?
Ooh, Relics. Makes noise in the rotate, at least. But Dazzle should know the last time he got caught out here, that flash actually missed. He didn't even get into the window. That is going from bad to worse. Edward misses the flashbang, and they lose electronic because of it. It's simple, the only man with a proper weapon here. Otherwise, it's just Deagle surrounding him. Well,
he's got that UMP. But can he go bananas, Ben? Is he able to upset here? Dazzle, waiting in position, has the crosshair pre-placed, but it does not matter. Simple, fast peeks out, finds the execute. It is now a 3 versus 3. They're going to need to just cause chaos here, really, if they'll somehow pick this round up. I mean, they're close by. They're going for the pincer push on the A site. Dapper hides in position. FNS gets fragged, but Zeus on the drop will fall straight down to the Nether Realm. Dapper gonna cast out the flashbang as well. The peak comes out from Relics, and they play it so systematically. One by one, the left and right hooks coming out. The 15th round achieved for eUnited. It looks like NaVi are going to the lower bracket, Ben.
It's looking very much like it. NaVi simply not been good enough so far. 15 to 6 right now. Could be 16 to 6. It's very worrying if you think about the overall expectations you'd be thinking of from this tournament, because this is one of the big tournaments, as you mentioned before. 9 of the top 10 teams here. This is something where they could prove that they're, you know, number 2, if not number 1 potentially. And this is not a good start. Not at all. But yeah, Execute is the one that's been called the... They're playing retake. Dapper, the only man towards CT. Dazzle's got so much info towards mid at least. Relic should be quick on the rotate here, but he does have an orb.
They're going to make haste up towards the A site, Ben. Lines of sight completely restricted here. The CTs don't really have vision, and these lines need to hold. Dapper going for a big spray, nearly connecting the shots. They haven't lost anyone just yet, and they're building this backstab. Zeus, he could run straight into him. He's unarmed. He's brought his knife to a gunfight, and he has been slaughtered. 6 bullets straight in the chest there from Dazzle. They'll carry on with the aggression out towards the side, but Electronic with the CZ needed to display that pistol prowess, but he has been utterly destroyed. This has got to be the victory for eUnited. They're on the bomb. There's not even a chance for Edward to win it. The shakes of defeat come through. It's a 16-6 scoreline. eUnited with our biggest upset yet in IEM Chicago 2018. We'll break this game down after the break.
Intel Extreme Masters Chicago is brought to you in part by Intel, AT&T, Acer Predator, HyperX, Betway, and Pay Safeguard.
Wowzers, Ben. eUnited flying the flag high there for the American side as they were able to somehow upset and find a victory over NaVi. Not what anyone expected.
Certainly a smashing in the wrong way, really. We expected NaVi to be the team making the smashing. In fact, eUnited turn it completely around. They have such a good performance there. Very strong T side, finding all the errors in NaVi's defense. And from that, they give themselves a chance at making quite a run in this tournament.
Yeah, which is crazy because they've now dropped NaVi into the lower bracket already, meaning NaVi have to face off versus a much harder opponent rather than what they would have wanted to. I mean, this is the matchup where you expect NaVi to win. It's the high seed versus the low seed. It's expected. No one was really looking towards eUnited to potentially pick up an upset win there. And some crazy things came out as well. If you did miss the matchup, when we were at a position when I think it was like a 9-2 scoreline, we saw Dazzle try and go for a knife play. Round after that, gets a free K with just 1 HP. Some crazy occurrences that really feel like they would have only happened this one time.
Yeah, it's finding the right game to show their form, I think, is the main thing there. NaVi not really able to do much. Dazzle had a fantastic game as well. Loads of multi-kills that were so impactful. And Moose as well, the second half, after getting those 4 kills with the CZ armor he originally had, he had such confidence that he was taking so many fights that he wouldn't normally take. And when you're against a team like NaVi, you need to have some confidence, but it needs to be controlled, and that it was.
Dazzle and Moose, though, as you touched on, definitely the 2 big performers for eUnited, with Relics coming in there to round out a couple of rounds, being effective with the AWP, being able to open up rounds and shut them down. It was ridiculous, though. I mean, the fact that we've even seen that as a scoreline, it's not like this was a close win, upset 16-14 or something within the region. This is as one-sided as it gets.
It's just bizarre, though, isn't it? Because that's the 2nd seed of the tournament, losing to 15th, and that was voted by all the teams at the event, too. So that's not like a system where sometimes you might think, okay, some seed was decided by some ranking system. That was all the teams thinking they'll probably finish about 2nd if things go correctly. Yeah, things have not gone correctly thus far.
It's a unanimous decision, meaning that they're now going to be in the lower bracket as well, facing off a much harder opponent there rather than what they would have wanted to walking into that. And it's scary because eUnited, they do essentially what we expected to see from LDLC. They put themselves in a position to actually go quite far in the tournament now. And they're going to be hyped as well because they're getting closer and closer to playing at that live arena. And that is what they want as well. For a side like eUnited, that's the home crowd. That's going to be an advantage behind them where they're actually going to be pumped. And they are a team that it seems like they need that level of confidence. We see the more rounds they won, the more bold and the more courageous they were, going for, at times, quite crazy plays, I think it's fair to say.
And the weirder thing is now, so they'll move on to now a best-of-3 against the winner of that Fnatic big matchup. That's not exactly a hard best-of-3 by any means. Obviously, it'll be difficult, but it's much easier than winning a best-of-3 against the team when you're facing elimination from the tournament. If they win that or move further on from that, you're already putting yourself into the stage, which, again, you mentioned getting to the arena. That'd be crazy.
Yeah, it is absolutely ridiculous. So some potential upsets to come later on in the tournament. Obviously, if they face off versus Big or Fnatic, still 2 very crazy teams. Some wild things have been occurring at this point on the IEM Chicago B stream, and there is still more to come. Our last game of the night will be Luminosity versus Liquid, and that should be a slobber knocker to close this out. Hopefully no more wild things occurring. We'll see you there with the last game.